The story of the Virgin of Guadalupe is one of the deepest spiritual and cultural pillars of Mexico and all of Latin America. Her appearance on Tepeyac Hill in 1531 marked not only a religious milestone, but also a symbol of identity, consolation, and resilience for millions of people. Over the centuries, devotion to the Morenita del Tepeyac has grown to become one of the most important Marian cults in the world, accompanied by a series of events considered miraculous, including the mystery of Juan Diego's ayat and the figures reflected in the image's eyes. According to tradition, the Virgin Mary appeared on December 9th, 1531, to a recently converted Chichimeca Indian named Juan Diego Cuauhtlacotzin, while he was on his way to Mass in Tlatelolco. At the top of Tepeyac Hill, on the outskirts of Mexico City, the Virgin, with a mestizo appearance and speaking in Nahuatl, presented herself as the perfect ever-virgin Holy Mary, Mother of the true God, and asked him to go to Bishop Fray Juan de Zumarraga to request the construction of a temple on that same spot. The bishop did not believe Juan Diego's story at first and asked for a sign to confirm the apparition's authenticity. The Virgin then instructed him to gather some flowers that miraculously grew in the middle of winter on the top of the hill. Juan Diego obeyed, gathering the roses in his ayat, a type of tilma or cloak made of maguey fibers. When he unfolded the ayat before the bishop on December 12th, a miracle occurred. The image of the Virgin was imprinted on the cloth. This event was taken as a divine test. Soon, a shrine was built at Tepeyac. The figure of the Virgin of Guadalupe became an emblem of spiritual conversion, but also of the encounter between two worlds, the indigenous and the European. The Virgin of Guadalupe was not only adopted as a figure of religious devotion, but also as a protective mother of the Mexican people. Her image has accompanied great moments in the country's history. It was Miguel Hidalgo's standard-bearer during the War of Independence, a symbol of unity in times of conflict, and an emblem of hope in times of pain and crisis. Every December 12th, millions of faithful make a pilgrimage to the Basilica of Guadalupe, now the most visited Marian shrine in the world after the Vatican. The original ayat sacrificial veil is preserved there. Before her image, the faithful pray, give thanks, weep, kneel, and sing. The Guadalupe faith transcends social classes, borders, and generations, and is considered by many to be the true spiritual heart of Mexico. One of the reasons why Guadalupe devotion has transcended the boundaries of religion is the enigma surrounding Juan Diego's ayat. This cloth, made of maguey fiber, should have disintegrated in no more than 20 years due to its fragility, but it has remained intact for almost 500 years without special conservation treatments. Furthermore, the printed image shows no traces of traditional painting. Various scientific studies, conducted by experts in optics, photography, and chemistry, have concluded that there are no known brushstrokes or techniques that can explain how the image was formed. The color has remained vivid despite the passage of time, exposure to candle smoke, dust, and environmental conditions. In 1921, a bomb placed in front of the altar exploded with enough force to destroy the nearby metal crucifix, but the ayat was undamaged, which was considered by the faithful as another miracle. One of the most surprising discoveries related to the ayat was made in the 20th century, when an enlarged photograph of the image's eyes revealed what appeared to be small human figures reflected in the pupils. In 1929, photographer Alfonso Marcu, examining an enlarged image, noticed what appeared to be a human face reflected in the right eye. Decades later, in 1956, ophthalmologist Dr. Javier Teruella confirmed the presence of the Purkinje-Sanson phenomenon, optical reflections typical of the living human eye, in the Virgin's eyes, something impossible to replicate in a painting. Subsequent research, such as that by Peruvian engineer Jose Astunsman, identified up to 13 tiny human figures in both eyes, including an indigenous person, a friar, a woman, and a child. These images would coincide with the figures who, according to tradition, were present when Juan Diego showed the ayat to the bishop. For many believers, this is miraculous proof that the image is not the work of man, but divine origin. The story of the Virgin of Guadalupe is much more than a religious tale. It is a spiritual, cultural, historical, and scientific phenomenon that has marked the soul of Mexico. The apparition at Tepeyac, the message of unity and compassion, The inexplicable preservation of the I-8 and the mysterious details in the image's eyes are all elements that nourish a living, profound, and transformative faith. For millions of people, the Virgin of Guadalupe is not just an image. She is a mother, guide, protector, and symbol of hope. Her story continues to inspire those seeking a miracle, a sign, or simply comfort in the midst of adversity. For other interesting videos, you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Frank Fernandez Historia.